Hi muckers, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're all having the best day ever. Thank you so much for clicking on my YouTube channel and on my video today. I appreciate you being here. Do you like this shirt? I find it from my dairy collection. Did I show you the back or did I just fucking do that really quickly? Whenever I went back home a couple days ago, I went through my old wardrobe of all of my clothes from like dairy, like pre-moving out at 18. So I find some of my favorite pieces, and yes, this is just a white t-shirt, but I've had some amazing memories in this top. Anyway, so we are going to be... That was just the weirdest intro ever. We are going to be jumping into today's video. So we are going to be talking about what is currently going on with Trisha Paytas, the Trisha Paytas voodoo curse, if you will, and Meghan Trainor. Now, this is intense, and for context, like keeping full transparency, whenever I do my live streams, I like watching the videos and then uploading them on my YouTube channel and then making videos like this talking about different things that happen in a more condensed way, right? So yesterday I went on a live stream. By the way, this does have context. So I went on a live stream yesterday to watch the podcast with Trisha Paytas and Meghan Trainor. I had to tap out like 47 minutes into it because it was that boring. And after I upload my videos tonight, I'm gonna go back and watch the other fucking whatever, how long, and then upload it. I just literally had to take a break because it was that boring. It was so boring. And so anyway, I didn't catch this part of the podcast. So I then saw all of these clips. So I watched 50 minutes of the most boring thing ever, and I didn't even get to the part that people are like really pissed off about, which is what we're going to be talking about. Now, a lot of people like throwing around that, you know, you're taking things out of context or whatever, so we're going to show the full context of the clip here. But basically, there have been comments made by Meghan Trainor and Trisha Paytas in regards to homeschooling and teachers, and Meghan Trainor literally telling teachers that they can, you know, go fuck themselves. Just a really awful conversation that was happening, and I think there's something so ironic about the fact that Meghan Trainor's first scandal is when she does a podcast with Trisha Paytas. So there's just something so... like, the Trisha fans, the YouTube army, like to say that, you know, Trisha's this new person or whatever. Meghan Trainor has been cancellation-free until now. And mainstream media are attacking Meghan Trainor because of the conversation she's having with Trisha Paytas. So there's some sort of Trisha Paytas voodoo still going around here. Anyway, I'm going to show you the full clip for context, and then we are going to get into the response. And again, the response has been absolutely intense. Alright, so here we go. Again, I'm going to show you it's like 2 minutes of them talking about the situation in full context, so I'm not taking anything out here. Yes, this is a Coraline doll down here. Mind your own business. Let's get into it.
Change lives forever.
So they're talking in this clip about Hilary Duff, and then they talk about homeschooling. And I also have a problem with this part of the clip, but I'll just let it play first.
And I sent it to her and said, changed my life forever.
No way. The fact that you even text Hilary Duff, I'm like, what
she
is
didn't
this?
respond, but she loved it.
Oh my god. And she's a child star that turned out like beautiful.
Very
you know
fucking cool, very down to earth, very real.
Your husband, like I feel like he seems like
he's
down to
one
earth.
of the few, because every time I see him,
Because he was in Spy Kids, but wait.
and with all like in old stuff, like when we're watching him act,
Yeah.
I'm like, what happened to that boy? He's like, drugs. I'm like, what happened to that one? And he's like, rehab. I'm like, what about this one? And like, died. And he never did.
Meghan Trainor comes... I've never had a problem with Meghan Trainor. I've never whatever. She comes across as so annoying in this podcast and has this like superiority complex about her, and one of those people, by the way, that makes being a mother their entire personality, which is fine, but like if you're not going to bring anything else to the conversation, don't expect us to watch an hour and 25 minutes of you literally just talking about that being your only personality thing. And what a great personality that is to have. Being a mother is such an incredible thing, but there's a line between... There's a line, and you know it, and I'm not going to allow you to come for me in the comments below. You know that there's a line when it turns from, you know, I'm a mother and this is so incredible, and, you know, I have this amazing baby, and how amazing was it that I created this, and blah, blah, blah. There's that. Maybe even talking about it every day, you know, all that thing. But there is a line where that is your only personality trait. And that's okay as well. It's annoying, and that's exactly Meghan Trainor, and very much so Trisha Paytas. Again, I'm 50 minutes into watching this on my stream right now, and it's literally just been this echo chamber of, like, blowing smoke up each other's asses, which is funny, because that has now came back on Meghan Trainor, and absolutely, like, Well, she even issued an apology and stuff.
He never went.
No, he
That's
never
amazing.
went like hardcore. He was very normal.
Sorry. So what I was gonna say is this conversation she's having about like, oh, like my husband, you know, is one of the best ones, and you know, he got out, and, you know, he had a good childhood, and you know, he was really famous and all, and we talk about them drugs, alcohol, dead, whatever. It's like, why are you throwing that around as like a one-up? What, that your husband's still alive and all of his childhood friends are what, dead from substance abuse? Fuck yourself.
He went right to school.
Oh.
So he got bullied.
He
like,
was,
pants
Yeah.
in front of
What?
the whole school. Yeah.
Oh, for being like a child actor?
For being a star.
Yeah, those movies were iconic. Like
Dude,
Spy Kids.
And
was
like the
iconic.
principal, he was like, just be chill. Like, I'm gonna come to school. I'm like 8 years old. Like, everyone be nice. The principal made an announcement. Like, the Spy Kid is coming to our school.
Oh, God.
And he was like, what? the fuck
Why
did
do they
you
do that? Yeah, it's hard. I guess
So-
that's hard. It's just that is jealousy because she always
Yeah.
said that too. But
Yeah.
I get
He was
that, but-
humbled.
Yeah, no,
But
but I
we're
mean,
homeschooling our kids.
same. I think everyone
Fuck
should
that.
like
We all, everyone on TikTok is. They're like, this is
Yeah.
what it's like to have a kid in school in America. I have a bulletproof backpack. I was like, fuck all that.
like that, but also
Bullying.
kids can be mean. Teachers, that was my
Teachers.
trauma. Teachers,
Fuck
and
teachers,
you know,
dude.
but then also the violence. I mean, I think it's just that thing. It's not even private school. It's just like having them homeschool.
We're homeschooling.
Yeah, I
I'll let
think
you know
that's
how
the
it
way to
goes.
go. Okay,
So far,
yeah.
It's been fucking
I
fantastic.
heard it's great. Like people have like homeschooling
It's
meetings,
great.
and yeah,
And there's so many teachers out here that are so nice and kind and
Yeah.
that will come to your house and like do a whole thing. Our teacher,
First of all, what a privileged asshole conversation that is going on here about like, oh, my child will never go to public school, my child will never go to public school. You know, and I don't know if you heard that, Meghan Trainor was literally like, yeah, fuck teachers. Like when talking about the public schools, she was like, fuck teachers. Talking about because she had a negative experience with her famous husband in school. We all did. But teachers, especially in public schools, are, first of all, okay, wait. I'll let the video speak, and then I'm gonna get my opinion. But what a stupid, disgusting conversation on both Meghan Trainor and Trisha Paytas' point of view here, where it's like, not only are you making being a mother your entire personality, fine, right? You're now acting as if you're the best mother. And anyone who would ever go to public schools, yeah, because fuck those teachers, right? Fuck those teachers. They're doing a bad job, and anyone who sends their kids there is doing a bad job. Because now they're the best mothers. Like, there's no mother as good as Meghan Trainor or Trisha Paytas. You can both go fuck yourself. So anyway, that's it in the full context. Everyone keeps saying, why is no one showing it in the full context? The full context isn't great. Alright, so anyway, I have a couple videos I want to get to here on TikTok, and then we're going to get to Meghan Trainor's apology. I just think it's funny, again, the irony that the first time she hangs out with Trisha Paytas just to issue an apology. Anyway.
yeah, no, but
we're homeschooling our kids.
same. I think everyone
Fuck
should
that.
like.
Alright, wait.
On TikTok is. They're like, this is what it's like to have a kid in school in America. I have a bulletproof backpack. I was like, fuck all that.
Like that, but also kids.
Hold on.
Teachers. That was my trauma. Teachers.
Fuck
And
teachers.
Getting
You
her.
said fuck teachers? There are a lot of things in this video that I want to talk about, not just the obvious, like, fuck teachers. Like, who is of the opinion fuck teachers? Like, that's crazy to me. And frankly, I don't think you're even of the opinion fuck teachers. But I'll get back to that in just a second. First and foremost, you even sharing space with Trisha Paytas is a huge red flag to me.
And by the way, the entire podcast, Meghan Trainor's talking about like how Trisha Paytas is the only guest she ever wanted to have on her podcast. Like Trisha Paytas is that one person she's been obsessed with for years. So she's making it apparent how much she loves and endorses Trish.
that's right, Japanese pop star Trishi. I can speak Korean.
Did you say so?
I have Hello Kitty chopsticks.
So basically, showing like a bunch of the clips of Trish that we've seen.
I was saying in the video earlier, I don't really think you're of the opinion fuck teachers, because I don't see how anybody could hold that opinion. And it is not lost on people that in the same 10 days that you released a book, you said fuck teachers, those very same people who teach people how to read so they could buy your book and read it. And I know a lot of people are already talking about that. And like I said, I don't really even think you're of the opinion fuck teachers. I think you just got swept up in the moment and you were just kind of like, you know, rapid firing ideas and it just came out. And I personally really don't believe that you're of that opinion. But the thing that I want to talk about most is the privilege by which you speak those words. You're never going to have to know what it feels like to send your kids to school. Because you have the privilege to keep them at home. And you have the privilege to teach them at home. And most likely hire somebody to do that for you if you wanted to. Most of us do not have that privilege. And the dread and the guilt and the fear that parents in this country in particular feel about sending their kids to school, and you being so flippant about the whole thing, was really, really gross to me, Megan. So when we send our kids to school, It is those very same people where you say, fuck teachers. Those are the people that parents like me and most parents rely on to help protect our kids because we're not there. And we know that that's not a position that they should be in. And in many cases, a lot of teachers have given up their lives to protect the lives of children, the children that they teach. So I hope you understand that I'm not trying to bash you and bandwagon, hating on you for what you said. I just hope that you can try to just relate a little bit to the people who are watching you and listening to you and the struggles, that they face. And I'm sure you know this, but I think you owe teachers a huge apology. They deserve our respect.
Alright, so we have that TikTok. Now, I have a couple other ones that I want to get to, and then we're going to get to Meghan Trainor's apology that she issued. So I have 3 other ones.
Videos.
These are my favorite ones.
If they're not Meghan Trainor, just keep watching because it's absolutely disgusting. I can't even stitch her video because I keep my channel clean because I have a lot of kids who follow me. No, I don't accept your apology because the only reason why you're apologizing is because so many people are trying to cancel you and things like that. It's just absolutely disgusting. You have over 17 million folks who follow you and way more than that who probably look up to you as a fan and things like that. You just use your platform in such a hateful way to a group of people who are really working hard to care and teach and love children. And of course all teachers aren't perfect. I had so many mean teachers as a kid. I mean, I can think of so many more mean teachers than kind teachers that I had. So you know what I did? I flipped the script. Obviously, I don't expect you to be a teacher. You're a really successful entertainer. That's absolutely fabulous and awesome. But do better and be nicer to folks.
Alright, so we have that one. Again, there are so many on TikTok right now, but these are definitely the ones that, personally, I wanted to include in this video. Alright.
The last drill that I participated in as a teacher, I did not have a key to my room, and I could not lock my door. I had been asking for a key for weeks because I knew that should something happen, I would need it to keep myself and my students safe. And they kept telling me that they were working on it. So the drill happens, I don't have a key, and I do what I would have done if the situation were real, which is I pull the door shut and I am standing in front of it while my students are pushed against the wall. An administrator comes and pulls the door open, and I, of course, jump. I explain to him my situation, that I don't have a key and I've been asking for one, and he moves along. The next day, I see him in the hall, and he tells me that that situation tells him everything he needs to know about me as a teacher. That if I were in that situation, I would protect the kids. And I sat there and I thought about my 4-month-old baby at home, and I realized that the expectation was for teachers to sacrifice themselves. Your explanation for why you said what you said makes no sense. Because if anybody understands how scary...
The reason I wanted to show these ones first is because in her apology, there's a lot of things that, just don't make sense at all. So these are important to show, first of all, especially hearing from teachers themselves.
Is to think about sending your kids to school with special backpacks. It's teachers. They're the ones who are being asked and expected to put your kids in front of themselves and their own kids. When you have a massive following and the ability to screen your content before you post it, you need to do better.
Alright, and before we get to this last one before her apology, that's a point that I really do want to focus on. So, there's something to be said about the fact that this wasn't just a podcast filmed live. And, then Meghan Trainor has to apologize for it. No, this was a podcast that was filmed weeks before it aired, or at least many days before it aired, was filmed, many people involved in the process of filming it, in the room, who are on the podcast and behind the scenes, editing it. It gets screened because Meghan Trainor is a producer on it, and then gets uploaded and promoted. So this is something she stands behind, and Trisha too, until what? Until you get called out for it? Alright, this last video before her apology.
A sign in a lot of different schools, and it's meant to remind kids to kind of stop and think, T-H-I-N-K, before they speak. It tells them to ask themselves, is what you're about to say thoughtful? Is it helpful? Is it inspiring? Is it necessary? And is it kind? And I thought a lot about that sign as I was watching this clip. I'm a teacher in my 7th year, which means that pretty early on in my career, I had to teach during pandemic. During that time, I saw my colleagues do some pretty incredible things. Whether that was learning how to do their jobs in a completely new way, overnight, without any real training, or it was spending their own personal money to try to make their kids feel better, or
This is such a stupid point for me to bring up here, because it, I don't want to track from the topic here. But I don't know why I feel like I'm gonna cry, because I'm not this is not something I'm sitting down here and being because I'm not a teacher. But all I'm gonna say is, I remember this story of whenever I was younger and I was in my primary school, we had this teacher, and every single 2 Fridays she would always do a pizza party for us. And I'm sure a lot of people can already know where I'm going with the story, and they've probably experienced it themselves, because a lot of teachers have done this. And I remember that every single 2 Fridays, the teacher would come in with a medium-sized pizza or something like that, and it would be cut into really, really, really small pieces, and everyone would get this much of a pizza slice and something. But it was always really exciting, and it was always something to look forward to and whatever like that. And I remember I never thought about it again, because I was 8 or something whenever it happened, 7, 8, 9. And then I remember whenever I was on TikTok, last year or something, and it's a video that will always stick by me, and it was once you realize why the pizza slices you got were so small, it all makes sense, or something like that. It was phrased a lot better than what I'm saying, but basically it was making the point that the teachers were the ones with their own money buying the pizza to come into school, and they were doing their best to uplift their students and motivate them in any way, whether that was just buying a pizza and spreading it into thing. There are just so many things that teachers do that get so overlooked and almost people expect. And I just always think about that story whenever, in general, but whenever we're talking about this story where it's yeah, I had a lot of teachers that made my life hell. I had a lot of teachers that had an amazing impact on my life, though. And even if I didn't, that would just be my experience. How many teachers are there and how many students are there in the world? And not everyone is being able to be homeschooled, Trishy and Meghan. Considering Trisha said as well, oh, if you get a nanny, you're cheating parenting. Does that not apply to homeschooling then, Trish, by your logic? So
was setting aside their own personal, mental, and physical health. I would have to say that during that time, I have never felt more helpless and tired. But I did all that knowing that I had to show up every day and make these kids feel happy and safe, even if I didn't. Now we're entering a time where teachers are facing head-on the emotional toll that the pandemic took on these kids. And we're seeing behaviors that we were not taught how to deal with. They're not behaviors that we saw growing up either. I have experienced teachers who have taught for decades coming to me and saying that teaching has never been so difficult as it is right now. And now Meghan's right. Parents do send their kids to school with bulletproof backpacks. And who do you think is expected to use their body as a shield during the moments where those backpacks are necessary? It's the teachers. This tells me you know it's bad, Meghan. Bad enough that you're willing to use your money and resources to try to avoid it. Meanwhile, people like me and those who can't afford to get out of public school are just working and doing our best to make it the best we possibly can. Educators have been through a lot recently. So to hear such a mean, out-of-touch take from somebody with such a big platform is really disappointing. You admit that you know what we face every day.
And let's face it, you're a part of it.
And yet you still say something like that. That sign I mentioned earlier reminds kids that their words have power. And I promise that teachers do not need any more hate and misunderstanding thrown their way with your words. Anyway, on public schools. I was editing this and just wanted to make 2 quick points. One, I love my kids. None of what I complained about is their fault. They're fantastic.
Alright, what I want to get to round this off is the apology that Meghan Trainor has posted. And again, I'm not saying this to bring it back to Trisha. I'm putting both of these women equally, they both had the conversation, and the guy that was there as well. I think Ryan Trainor, Meghan Trainor's brother. They all need to say something about this. Obviously, Trisha's taking the approach of not speaking about it, and Meghan Trainor has issued an apology. But again, all those videos were posted that I just let you watch after this apology, so people aren't happy with it, but we'll hear what she has to say.
Teachers of TikTok and teachers of the world, I recently said F teachers on a podcast. And it's not how I feel.
While laughing, by the way.
Because we were talking about how Sending your kid to school here in America is so horrific. And what all of us have to go through, but especially teachers, is not normal and not okay. I had Trisha Paytas on the podcast, and I knew her history with her teachers. And I knew my husband's history with his teachers, and I was bullied by some teachers. So in that moment,
Trisha's history with teachers? Are we talking about Mr. Riney? Is that what we're talking about? Mr. Riley? Mr. Riney? It was one of the two. Is that what we're talking about? Megan, do we want to unload that conversation? I don't know if we want to unload that conversation, Megan, I'll be honest with you.
Angry and said, F teachers, F those specific human beings back in the day, but I did not mean that to all teachers. I love teachers. I fight for teachers. I think they have the...
So then why were you making it such a point that, oh, your child will never do it because of, you know, teachers? If those teachers aren't teaching anymore, surely you wouldn't have made that point. No, you're just backtracking, obviously.
This job, and they're the most underpaid. They're the most unappreciated when they literally raise all of us. I don't want to make excuses. I'm just so sorry. I'm so sorry to any teachers who I make feel bad. And I will remind myself that my words definitely could have a consequence. And I will be more careful. Love you all so much. I'm so sorry again. Thank you all for helping me.
For helping you? What did we do? This is on you. What have we done? Alright, I do just want to, before I jump off here, on the video that was posted, there is a couple comments that are like at the top that I do just want to read out, right? So, someone said, top comment, by the way, a lot of comments on this video, like the comment to like view ratio is like not good, so like people are definitely opinionated on this. I'll read out the top three, okay. As a former teacher, I'm absolutely floored that they would say F teachers. I work 12-hour days and weekends, spent money out of my own pocket, sacrificed my mental and physical health to provide a safe and supportive learning environment for my students. I was happy to make those sacrifices because my number one focus was making sure I was a person each of these students could rely and trust. Our school system is a mess, but the teachers are not the problem. They are only people left in schools that are fighting for your kids. The next one says, I'm a junior in high school and planning to study early childhood education. My parents are teachers and my older sister attends school to become a teacher. I grew up listening to teachers' work days, getting to school early to set up the classrooms, and staying after school while they did work. My whole family worked during the summer holidays to make ends meet as well. It honestly really upset me to hear the negativity that you're both saying towards teachers. I have seen both sides of the school system because even though a teacher might be mean, they most likely want the best for their student, and those teachers are my favorite. But you also need to realize that they are human beings who have families and other responsibilities. The main focus I want to become a teacher is to pay the respect back that my teachers gave me. I've shadowed multiple teachers, and I know how much they love and care about their job. They don't deserve this disrespect. And then the other one I'll read is, no one will ever understand what it takes to be a teacher unless they are one. Thank God for teachers. So, that is a rundown of everything. Trishy's fishy. Is silent. Megan apologized. Let me know your opinion. We'll talk about it down below. I appreciate you being here, and yeah, I'll see you. Bye.